Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Rick Helps Real Estate Show. Happy Monday. It's 58 degrees out there. I can't believe it. So let's get limbered up this morning. Let's start by punching that like button and moving forward. Get the juices flowing. I've got a doozy one for you here today, and then I'm going to go over some. I'm going to talk about what I want real estate agents to stop talking about. Not like anybody's going to listen to me. And I'm going to roll through some data here for you quickly. So I will share where we are with some of the numbers in Phoenix real estate market. So yesterday, now you don't ever want to ride with me in a car. Well, actually, I don't do this when I have anybody in the car with me, but I'm a button pusher. Are you a button pusher? Song comes on. I don't want to hear that. Go to another station. Oh, I'll listen to the news. Let me listen to this. AM, FM, satellite. I dance all over the place. And so, good morning. And so yesterday, Saturday they have the financial shows on AM radio, and on Sunday they have the real estate shows. And I don't know which one I was listening to, but I'm buzzing along. And this lady says, right now is a good time to buy because you can get seller concessions, and you can get price reductions out there as high as $30,000, or you can use it for a rate buy down. But you can get, a good price on a home. And even though rates are high today, you can refinance at a lower rate next year. That's when I wanted to start screaming at the radio. You don't know that. How can you advise people that they can refinance at a lower rate next year? Do you have insider knowledge? Because the bond traders don't even know it. Now, I can make a compelling argument that says that interest rates will be lower next year. I can lay out all the data for you, and I can say, here's the conclusion I got. I can do the opposite. Good morning, Jackie. I can say, here's why I think rates are going to be higher next year. But I'm not an expert, and I think it's very ill-advised for agents to tell people, go ahead and get that rate today. Don't worry. You can refinance next year. Stay in your lane. Our job as real estate agents is to manage the transaction. Our job is to make sure that everything is prepared correctly and legally and get you through this huge transaction of writing a contract and making sure it makes it through escrow, negotiating through the inspection period. Our job is not to make broad economic decisions and pass them on to you. This is where our reputation gets tarnished. And this is what we saw a lot when I saw in 2006. I never forget seeing this one agent actually tell the buyer out in the street, and this is before I was an agent, by the time you close, you're already going to have $45,000 in equity on this house. And in 5 years, you're going to be able to sell it for $200,000 more. And I'm like, no, she's not. And everybody was saying that. Drake, I worry about counting on refinancing because prices go down. Your house isn't worth. Exactly. It's a moving target. It's an absolute moving target. If your equity goes negative, you won't be able to refinance. Jackie here chimes in and says, plan for the worst and what things are now and be happy with anything better, but never buy based on the belief of the future. Yeah, I agree. And I mentioned this last week, and I said, don't depend on real estate agents' advice on where the market is headed. Do your own research, look at your own numbers, come to your own conclusions. Now, we have access to more data than you do at home. I get it, but we don't have access to what's really going on in the broader scheme. So, for example, if you look here, right now, there's a major problem. The U.S. Treasury market is becoming illiquid. Now, if that manifests itself into something big, the credit market will collapse. It'll absolutely collapse. Could that happen? Yes, it's a possibility. So keep that in mind when you're out telling people, boy, you can refinance next year. So I found that very disingenuous, and it really got under my skin yesterday, probably a little more than it should have. But the other thing I'm looking at too is this is our national debt. We're on 125.93% of GDP, and it's getting worse every day. Why do I bring that up? Well, that puts pressure on rates. yes, we could see rates go down next year. It's highly possible, all depending on not only the CPI data, but the underlying inflation data that they don't talk about a lot. And what could get us in a position to where we're going to have a temporary blip in interest rates. But I bet Pat $1. He was saying that Barry Abib says he thinks we'll be in the fours by the second quarter. And I bet him $1 that we won't. So we'll see if I'm right. I'm going to tape $1 to this light back there. Just leave it up there as a reminder. Now, getting to the Cromford market, it's interesting what they said here is the fourth quarter is expected to be a test for sellers as mortgage rate hikes have reduced contract activity to levels not seen since 2008. Frankly, it's not the best time to sell if you have a choice in the matter. Unlike 2008, however, most sellers today do have a choice. And those without an immediate need to sell have chosen to wait. And I'm going to show you those numbers. This is reflected in some of the lowest counts of new listings coming on the market recorded at this time of year, going back to 2021. So they're basically saying that if you don't have to sell, don't do it because it's really hard to find buyers. Today we have a little over 20,000 homes on the market, almost around 21,000. We're really active listings are only going up about 100 a week because of the delay in new listings coming on board. And you can see here that new listings have almost kind of flatlined. They're going up. So we were 19.5, now we're 19.6, and that just continues to keep going. But this is why. You see here that this is the lowest amount of new listings that we've had in October for a long time. Every one of these lines is October of the previous year. So here we are, 4,941 this month compared to 6,800 last year, 7,500, and a high of 9,869 new listings being put on the market. It's just not happening. And I see it in my 7-day moving average as well. That what I see here is that homes under contract continue to decline. We're having a little bit of uptick in October, which is seasonal. But new listings are going down, down, down. And as we get into the holidays now, November, December, don't expect any new listings. It's going to continue to be very slow. And we're not going to have a lot of people putting their homes on the market just because Thanksgiving, Christmas coming along. But if you have to sell, don't be afraid of the holidays. I mean, if you're in a situation where you got a job transfer or something's going on in your life and you need to put your home on the market, 67% of the homes are still selling. So if you list your home, you've got a 67% chance that you'll get it sold, provided that you priced right. And that's the video that I came out with last night, is how to look at comps now, because these online home valuations mean nothing to us now because they don't rely on history. So as you do your due diligence and your research, try not to treat housing as a stock or a stock ploy. Look at it over the long term. You're going to be there at least 5 years. And does the payment work for you? Is it fixed? Do you have any problems with the reset? I'd be interested to hear from some of you if you live in Canada, because I know up there's no such thing as a 30-year fixed loan. When interest rates go up, you go into a renegotiation period. I'd like to know how that works, because I do remember back in the 80s, a lot of people in Canada losing their homes when rates went flying up. And I was just shaking my head going, well, what do you mean you don't have a fixed rate? But it seems to work for them up there. Toronto is the highest overvalued home market in the world right now. So if you're in Canada, hit me up. I'm curious to hear how that goes. This week on the 27th, we get new GDP numbers. If they're negative, it means we're in a recession. If it's not, it means we're coming out of the recession. It's going to have an impact on the bond market. Again, the bond market and treasuries is what drives interest rates. So if you're an agent out there, be careful. I just don't want anybody stepping on their toes, and I'm being kind. So hope everybody has a great Monday. Take on the rest of the week. I will see you later. Thanks for watching.